Hey guys, welcome to Project Metal Music's YouTube channel with your host Elliot, and we are here with the brilliant Lord X Lucas. So welcome.
Service, how you doing, Elliot?
Yeah, my
First,
pleasure. We're doing good.
about myself, my name is Lord X. Loki said I am the founder of Luzifer Meutere. It's started out as a band project, but I got tired of the drama, so I just said, you know what, I'm going to do it myself. So
Yeah,
it started as I'm a multi instrumentalist, so I decided to be easier just to do it my own music, and I've been doing this for a very long time. But
so
uh,
I decided to be easier.
what was that?
Yeah, just I tried to turn my sound down to from another tap up from the tablet.
Okay, so yeah, it was a started doing that, played a few live shows, I would hire, people say, here's my song, learn it, and then we'd go play. But I'm not sure if I have anything planned in the future. I'm just busy trying to promote the music, and I have it out, very cheaply because I know music is very expensive, and I just want to get the music out there.
Cool, cool. So let's dive into some questions. As a kid, what were you listening to?
Well, I started listening to Kiss, AC/DC, King Diamond, Battery, Muscle Fate, Megadeth, Slayer, lots of thrash metal, like Overkill, bands like that. Warlock, Wasp was another influences, growing up, and to this day, I still like some of that, especially AC/DC, brilliant.
Yeah, cool, cool. I think AC/DC is more of like a sort of like universal sort of like gateway band into listening to rock and metal.
Yeah, 'cause, that's when I got into it. I started hearing, to me, the greatest singer in the whole world is Bon Scott. And once I started hearing Let There Be Rock, I got interested and wanted to hear other albums. So then Back in Black was amazing, and even the not so good records I really like. Fly on the Wall is one of my favorite ones that they've done. And then I drifted on. When I first heard Merciful Fate, oh man, that was amazing. And then King Diamond, his solo, and I just love his. He puts you in the music. His lyrics are so visual, and he's a great storyteller. And I've been influenced by that, so I do a lot of that in my lyrical writing, where I just like to tell stories.
Cool, cool, cool. Who actually got you into sort of like listening to music? Was it your parents or a sibling, or was it a sort of like a journey of self
Well,
discovery?
actually, it was both. My father he's a very good session musician and played on lots of records and stuff, but it wasn't my style of music, But very musical around the house. But my older brother, he would come home and he would bring all these records. And I remember the first time I heard Kiss. He brought that. I was like, oh man, that's cool. Then he started bringing home, even the Beatles. He brought home, all kinds of stuff. But then AC/DC, and that just I even took that to school, and they said, "Hey, bring your records we can listen to." And I brought Highway to Hell, and they well, no, we're not playing that. They refused to play it. And I got mad, and I said, "That's not the devil. This is cool."
Mm, yeah, cool. So, of all the bands that you've listened to over the years, who was or was there a group of musicians that influenced you to say, "I want to do this. I want to get on stage and perform"?
It was actually Angus Young from AC/DC. Just hearing his his amazing guitar playing, and then when I heard the lead to Mr. Crowley, that just my head just blew up. And I was like, that is the most beautiful lead I've ever listened to. And then I went back with some of the Kiss records, and then Detroit Rock City. I love that lead, so I was like, this is what I want to do, and I've been doing it ever since. I did have a I quit music for a very long time, but I just decided to come back and start just messing with it.
Cool, cool, cool. Um, Before you started Lucifer, were you in any sort of like bands prior to just starting this project?
Yeah, I was in many bands. I had formed some. I had joined some under different, under my real name. Uh, I was one of my favorite thrash metal bands that I formed a long time was called Severed Toddler, and people used to give us so much hell about about the title. No, you can't play hell that with that name, But that was pretty fun, and I've got to work with some amazing musicians, and there's two brothers that are amazing. Sean Myers, I'm going to tell you, he is the greatest drummer I have ever heard, ever had the pleasure to play with. He did amazing. He could play anything. And his brother, Christopher Myers, man, that guy could play the guitar like nobody's business. And we've been friends for pretty much family. Consider ourselves very close forever. And those two amazing. And out of anybody, I don't care if they're big or not. These two, very 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 good. And I played with Sean. He drummed with me. He'd be like, "Hey man, I need you to can you come over here and play?" Yeah, I got you. And the same thing, we'd rotate and play in bands together, and then when we were in different bands, we'd support each other. It was pretty good, But I've been doing this, like I said, a very long time, and enjoyed. I mostly thrash, a little bit of death. Uh, uh, but when I first started playing, it was more like Motley Crue style music, and then it started evolving more into thrash.
Cool, cool. We've got a question from Lisaboo, who's all the way in Canada, and she asks, being a solo artist, would you be open to having a collaboration with another artist?
Well, yeah, I'd be open to it. It just depends. But on the what kind of style they want to do. But if it's in my musical vision and it fits their musical vision and it would just mesh, yeah, I'd be open to it.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Lisa Boo. So, what have you been up to, especially over the last 12 months?
Well, actually, just writing music. That's all I've been doing. I get ideas all the time. I'm always writing. Oh, that would be a good song. So I just write the lyrics. And play. That's pretty much I've been doing. That's all I've been doing. Just stuck here in a little studio and just playing and playing and playing and recording. I go, oh, that sounds pretty good. In fact, I just finished recording. Finished last night. Finished recording. I always said one of the most creepiest songs ever written. His Tiny Tim. I don't know if you know him. He plays a ukulele, and he used to do a song back in the '70s called "Tiptoe to the Tulips." And it's
Yeah.
a very silly song, but it just sounds creepy. He sings it so high, and I'd be like, yeah, that's pretty scary. So I did my version that was inspired by that, called "Tiptoe Through the Ash Fields," and I just finished production on that one last night, in fact, and I'm very happy with it. And if I decide to put it out either by a single or when I decide to put out another album, that's definitely going to be on it. Because that's always the inspiration. I was thinking, yeah, man, it'd be cool if I just did a black metal cover of Tiptoe Through the Tulips. But then I was like, nah, I want to put my own spin on it, So that's exactly what I did, and it came out good, and I very much enjoyed making it, and it'll be a surprise because when people say, "Oh, it's inspired by that ukulele man," but you know,
Yeah.
like I said, my influences range from everything. My first love is black metal, but like I said, if you listen to my album, a lot of it has some industrial, some of it has electronic style, like in the Hypocritical Oppressor. What I did, it's a lot of echoes and reverbs, and it was kind of like a Nine Inch Nails in the middle of it style, with the industrial. And I was like, should I keep it? Yeah, I'll keep it. I was like, at first I wasn't sure, but I think it makes it sound different. So when people listen to it and they just hear the song and then they're like, I wonder who that is. Oh, that's Luzifer Meutere.
Cool, cool. We've got a question from Lisa Boo, which is following on from the previous one. She asks, running off the last question, who would you like to perform with? Who would you like to collaborate with most?
I'll be honest with you. Out of anybody, I would love to collaborate with Satanic Master. He is amazing. He's an amazing songwriter. He great live, and he's an all-around great musician. I also wouldn't mind collaborating with Fenris of Darkthrone. You know, that, like I said, that Darkthrone was just freaking amazing. I mean, the first time I seen that album, Blaze in the Northern Sky, I was like, I have to get this. And I heard it, I was like, oh man, this is great. And the late Quarton of Bathory, I would love to have done a collaboration, but unfortunately, we cannot do it now. But those two, yeah, Satanic Master and Fenris would be great, and even Vog from Butsum, but he doesn't do anything anymore. He's too busy living his life, But
Yeah.
I'm open to a lot,
Cool, cool. Thank you for that question, Lisaboo. So, you've just put out an album called Hymns of Blasphemy. So, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, Hymns of Blasphemy was inspired by, just the beauty of blasphemy and the rebellion of light. I wanted to show that it was the defiant album. It was, and I wanted to, showcase some silliness. Also, like everything doesn't have to be serious. Like I put two songs on there, two of my favorite movies of ever, The Shining. I love that movie. That's my number one favorite movie. So I wrote a song called "The Overlook Hotel." And if Stephen King sues me, I don't care. I don't think I would get that big. And then "Tomb of the Blind Dead" is an old film from Spain. And when I was a kid, I saw it. Me and my brother saw it and loved it. It's just a good movie, and I decided to write songs about it, and so I did. "Hymns of Blasphemy." It's that song is. I did it in the perspective of Lucifer. What when he says, "I look up and see the shining star. I will shall ascend to where you are. Doubt the light and make it die." That was before he decided to start the war in heaven. Uh, that was his pride coming in, and this is what he was thinking. And he says, he will take over God's throne, and everybody will sing hymns, but not to worship, a blasphemy, blaspheming God, a blaspheming authority, autism, telling you can't do this, you can't do that. When Lucifer says, yes, you can do this, and you have every right to do it, So, that I did that song based on his perspective. And I did that not quite in the black metal. Like I told you earlier, I was just playing my bass, and I've had the lyrics written for a very long time. And I was playing my bass, and I had this Marilyn Manson-ness style going, and I was like, hey, the lyrics started hitting, and I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And I think I found it, and I'm very happy with the way it came out. I wanted to sound like I was angry, but yet entitled, and yet spoiled in it. So it just all in.
Cool. So, you mentioned that you've been sort of like writing. Is there any plans on putting out an EP or another album, or are you going to just at the minute going to sort of like focus on singles?
I have many things written, and I do plan probably in the next 6 months or so, maybe sooner, put out another album, just to add to something. But a lot of my songs, I'm very influenced by Norse mythology, as you can tell by my name, and a lot of it has to do with history. A lot of it has to do with Vikings and torture processes. It's a mixture of everything, but the majority of the new music that I've been writing has been, about more Viking, about Odin and King Harold Fairhair and the great heathen armies and I actually released a song that I had recorded called "The Serpent's Tongue of Loki," and I released that as a single track on Bandcamp. So you can check that out as well. It's also available on YouTube to watch and listen, I think.
Cool, cool. Uh, we've got a question from Aussie Queen of the Rose, all the way from Australia. She asks, "Would you do vinyl even if it's a limited run?"
Yes, I was going to do that this month actually, but my distributor had raised prices on all the vinyl pressings because of the high demand. They said after the holiday, uh, they would go back to normal pricing. And yes, I am planning to do a limited edition run on vinyl. I might throw in one or two extra songs on there, just because it's limited, different, and of course, have different artwork on the cover, But yes, that's in my future. I plan on doing that either around January, February, when all the holiday is over.
Cool, cool. Thank you for that, Aussie. Um, so is there any plans on putting out like merchandise such as t-shirts, stuff like that?
I have a few T-shirts made. I actually was going to wear it today, and I forgot to wash my clothes, and I just, yeah. But I had to just find the right one. I've been experimenting with companies, and the quality is not that good, or the T-shirt, the front logo looks okay, but the back looks like you just ironed it on, and I need to find some. I even thought about learning how to do screen pressing, even though it's time consuming, and maybe do it myself. But I'm just trying to find. I've been experimenting with different shirt makers because yes, I do want to put out more merchandise, and I've already have my friend Paul and Kelly. They were like, "We want a Lucifer Meutere shirt," and then my friend Paul is like, "Give me the one with a ferryman. You have to have that one made." I'm like, "Okay, you got it." So I've just been experimenting, and trying to find the most cost effective as well because
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing with like there's a lot of bands that try to find a balance where they don't want to be spending too much money on merchandise, but at the same time, don't want to be charging the fans too much money for like to buy a t-shirt.
yeah, and that's another reason why I hesitate on playing live sometimes because the promoters don't want to pay the bands, and I'm like, hey, I'm not playing unless you pay me. You don't get a plumber to fix your leaks and then tell them, hey, you're just doing it for the enjoyment to do your craft. And I think more musicians need to stand up for themselves and say, no, I'm not doing this for free. I'm actually doing it as a favor for like let's say uh, a promoter that said, that treated you well and paid you very good and said, hey, I need this favor. Can you do the showcase? Yeah, I'll do it. We can't pay you. That's fine. But other than that, and then you go to these venues and then they want to charge you 20 to 50% of your merchandise sales just to have the booth there. So that's why the t-shirts are so outrageously priced at $50, $40, just so you could break even, and it's ridiculous. So I refuse to when I go to play, if the club says, hey, we want 20%, and that's fine. I let my fans know. After the show, we go to the parking lot. You can meet me out there, my vehicle, in my auto, and I do t-shirts $5, $10, there you go.
Cool.
Here's a free CD on top of that.
Cool. Is there any sort of like plans on doing any sort of like tours or gigs to promote Hymns of Blasphemy?
Only if it's like I said, cost effective. Most of the time, I've had some interest wanting me to go overseas and play a couple of festivals, but just the money wise, it wouldn't be worth it because I would have to pay my own airfare, on top of that, and then hire musicians over there because I can't hire them here, because if I did, then I have to wait on their visas and all that hassle. I just rather wait on my visa, go over there and go say, hey, play this, I did that once back in 2019. I did that, but if it doesn't, if I don't break even and make a little bit of profit, yeah, I definitely will. But it just depends. And like I said, a lot of the local venues here that have problems paying, bands. Hey, you didn't do an hour set like we promised, and I did 59 minutes. You're not getting paid. So it's got to be wary of a lot of these shady practices that they do. But I do plan on playing live. This going to be sporadically. I don't know if I'm going to do a tour, maybe a supporting tour with another headlining band or something like that. Hey, Satanic Warmaster though, if he offered me a support job, I definitely go on tour.
Cool, cool. Sort of like going on, sort of like if everything is aligned and you've got the financial backing, you've got everything lined up with like the band, etc. Would you sort of like do a tour into Canada or down in Australia or even in Europe?
Oh yeah, that most definitely. If everything aligns right, I'm open to play everywhere. All of Europe, of course. Australia, I would like to play there because I've never been to Australia. And yeah, anywhere that they want me to play, I will play. Like I said, if everything aligns right and everything is good, yeah, I definitely would like to do that.
Cool, cool. We've got another question from Lisaboo. She asks, "Do you have a process to writing your songs?" And it's two part question this. And what is your favorite song that you've written?
Actually, I don't have any process of writing songs. I'll just musically when I go to guitar part, I just play around. I'll be let's say I want to play an AC/DC song, and then I start playing around, and I start doing whatever, and then hey, that sounds nice. And I keep playing and playing. Okay, cool. Then I'll start getting ideas for lyrics, and usually it takes me, you know, not very long to write the lyrics. Like my favorite song I've written called "The Ferryman." Uh, it's about the Greek boatman that takes the dead to Hades, and I was flipping the channels, and I thought it said on Sci-Fi Channel, "The Ferryman." I go, "Hey, that's a cool movie. I've got to see that." And it wasn't The Ferryman; it was something completely different. I just saw it wrong. And I was like, "Man, not only would that be a great movie, that's a good name for a song." So I started writing down the lyrics about, thinking in my head about what should it be about. Okay, the ferryman's waiting at the river for the soul. When he gets there, Severus is there, mad, making guarding the gates, and I was like, okay, that's the premise, and then just started writing. That's how it came about, and that's my favorite song I've ever written.
Cool, cool. So thank you for that, Lisa Boo. Much appreciated. Um, so uh, where where can people find you on social media so they can keep up to date?
They can find me everywhere. YouTube, Luzifer Meutere, YouTube. They can find me on Bandcamp, Facebook. I have my own Facebook page. Uh, I started the Instagram page, TikTok. Uh, trying to remember everything. Heretics Vault Records. You could check out any announcements there. But yeah, I'm all over social media. I get the notifications daily, so I do check and interact. In fact, yesterday I had some idiot. I had posted uh, a picture of me, and I put one of my tracks in the background playing, and some idiot said, "That's AI. That's not even a real man. That's fake." And I'm like, "You idiot! That's here I am sitting." But I laughed, and I said, "Whatever, think whatever." But as you can see, I'm not fake. I'm right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. Yeah. So,
But
guys, in the chat, we're going to be starting to wrap things up in about 5-10 minutes or so. So, if you've got any more questions, please ask away. So, um, have you got any advice for people who want to become a musician, whether for their own personal pleasure or quite possibly going down the commercial route?
don't do it. No, I'm just kidding. It's a very hard process. Like I said, I played in many bands, and you're going to struggle. You're going to be broke. You're going to be hungry. You don't even know how you're going to get to your next gig. You might not even be able to afford to get your next gig. You might have to, at your current gig, get donations. You know, uh, it's a very hard process, but do the music that you like, that you said, hey, this is what I want to hear. This is the music that I like doing. Try to sound like you. Don't listen to record companies or other people in bands. Oh, you need to sound more like this guy or this, you know, and be yourself and be prepared. It's going to be a rough journey. Uh, you won't always get praise. You get a lot of negative comments because people are jealous because they can't do what you're doing. You know, they wish they could play guitar and they say, "Oh, you're terrible." You know, they wish they could scream or sing, and they're like, "Oh, you can't do it. You sound like an idiot." You know, so be prepared for that. But yeah, do it. You know, make sure you have merchandise though, because you that's how you make your money. And stand up for yourselves. If your indie clubs or promoters don't want to pay you and say, "Hey, come on down to our showcase and play for free," you tell them, "No, nah, I'm not doing that. We're doing. You pay me, you know, and this is our minimum fee, or we don't play, you know. Or if you don't want to pay us, fine, but give us uh, part of the bar tab or some of the door money coming in. You know, there are other ways around it. And if they want to charge you for selling your merchandise, don't even put up merchandise. You just tell your fans, hey, we're outside, and as soon as we're done playing, meet us outside, and you can buy our merchandise cheaper price. No, but do it. Yeah, if you enjoy playing music, I don't see a problem with it. Music is that Lucifer is who started the music, and he inspires people by playing music still to this day. You know, he was in charge of the music ministry in heaven, and he's in charge of the music now. So, you know, music is very powerful and very spiritual. So, you know, I advise anybody, if you want to do it, do it.
Yeah, sound advice there. Sound advice there. So, this is going to be sort of like we're going to be starting to wrap things up now. So, any final words before we go?
Just stay true to yourself. Listen to what you want to listen. Don't listen to others, and keep on rocking and black metal. Ah, yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do my best Euronymous impersonation. I couldn't do it, but yeah, just have fun and do what you like doing. You know, don't listen to nobody. People think you shit. Hey, so be it. You know, you enjoy doing it. You know.
Thank you so much for coming on there. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been a total pleasure talking to you, and yeah, I had fun.
I had fun as well, and hopefully we can do this again when you're feeling better. And
Yeah.
you know, I'll let you know if I have anything new coming out, any tours or merchandise or even a new record. You know.
Yeah, just hit me up on the email, and we'll sort something out.
All right. Until then, we'll see you soon. Service.
We've got a couple of comments from Lisaboo. She says thank you for coming on, and Ozzy says thank you for coming on. So
I'm going to say to that. Thank you.
So, guys, until next, if you haven't checked out Lucifer, I'll put all the links down in the description there, and go check them out.
Luzifer Meutere, Hymns of Blasphemy CD out now. You could get it at Bandcamp digitally or my Facebook or Heretic Vaults Records.
Cool. So, guys, until next time, we'll catch you all later.
See you later. Bye.